450 years ago, a legendary princess simply vanished deep into the hills, deep inside the jungles of Kelantan in Malaysia. Before that time and even until now, there have only ever been 2 women who ruled as queens in all of Malaysia. One of them was Cik Siti Wan Kembang. Once upon a time, a long time ago, the royal kingdom of Kelantan was ruled by a queen named Cik Siti Wan Kembang. One day, Cik Siti Wan Kembang, the warrior queen trained in the martial arts of Silat, the queen that was loved by all her people, adored by men and women alike, the queen of Kelantan, found herself down by the river, taking her early morning walk, when all of a sudden, she stumbled upon an abandoned child, an infant. Cik Siti Wan Kembang knelt down and picked up that child that was floating on a bed of foaming water bubbles. She looked at that child and immediately fell in love with her and named her Puteri Sa'adong, the new heir to the throne of Kelantan. And that is how it came to be that an abandoned foundling child, a female child, grew up as a royal princess in the court of Kelantan. At this point, in the royal city of Ayodhya, up north, in the kingdom of Siam, the king of Siam heard about the new queen of Kelantan, the new queen of Kelantan who was a warrior queen trained in martial arts, meditation, but the new queen of Kelantan who was also an exquisite beauty. The king of Siam had been unable to conquer the land of Kelantan, and so he decided instead to conquer the new queen of Kelantan. So he ordered his army to go back south to Kelantan and not invade the land, but kidnap the new queen. News of this plot reached the royal court of Kelantan, and immediately Raja Abdullah and Puteri Sa'adong went into hiding. When the Siamese army reached Kelantan, they were shocked to discover that Puteri Sa'adong had evaded them. Filled with anger and rage, they went on a rampage. They killed hundreds and hundreds of innocent men, women, and children. They burnt down the houses. They destroyed the crops. And they destroyed the lands of Kelantan. Puteri Sa'adong, from a hiding place, commanded her army and strategized as best as she could. Day after terrible day, she had news of how her people were killed, tortured, of how her land was being plundered and pillaged and raped. She couldn't just stand by and not fight alongside her people. She was a warrior queen. Raja Abdullah, her husband, forbid her to fight alongside her people, for he feared for her life. And so Puteri Sa'adong, unable to watch her people die, her kingdom perish, knew what she had to do. And then she entered the king of Siam's chamber. Immediately, she began to dance. She mesmerized and hypnotized the king. Slowly, the king fell into a trance, and slowly he fell asleep. In this way, Puteri Sa'adong remained untouched by the king of Siam, and she left his chamber. Every time the king called for her, she would prepare herself and enter his room, and then she would dance the Mak Yong, and she would hypnotize and mesmerize the king, and he would forget to touch her, and she would remain pure and chaste. But Puteri Sa'adong knew that her Mak Yong could not save her for long. that her dance could not save her forever, for soon the king would tire, and then what would she do? Well, that day came. The king summoned for Puteri Sa'adong. She knew what she had to do. She oiled her hair with the intoxicating fragrance of the champaka flower. She lined her eyes with black coal, and she adorned herself with all her royal jewelry. And then she put on her golden dancer's fingernails. And before she left her chamber, she laced them with poison. And Puteri Sa'adong went to the king of Siam. And she danced the Mak Yong. She mesmerized the king. She hypnotized the king. And the king was in a trance. And before she left, she scratched the king. And Puteri Sa'adong returned to her chamber. And then she opened the doors to Raja Abdullah's chamber. And what happened there is the stuff of legend. The stuff of Kelantanese dance, music, and wayang kulit. Some people say that she cried. Others say that she was angry. Yet there are those that say that a terrible argument broke out between husband and wife. And in that terrible struggle, one of her golden hairpins came loose and pierced Raja Abdullah in the heart, and he died bleeding in her embrace. Puteri Sa'adong relinquished the crown of Kelantan to Raja Abdullah's one and only nephew. And Puteri Sa'adong left the kingdom of Kelantan. And she too went to retreat in a cave deep inside the jungle, just as her mother had done once upon a time, a long time ago. And one day, the legendary princess simply